Hello, I'm Joe Craig, Interim Director of the UCCS Economic Forum, and welcome to another edition of our weekly Snapshot. So I'm here with Laura Nelson. Laura, you're a graduate of UCCS, which I always love to see. Could you give yourself a quick introduction?
Sure, I'm the Executive Director for the Apartment Association of Southern Colorado, representing the rental housing industry from basically Monument to Durango, but most stationed here in Colorado Springs.
That's awesome. Thank you, Laura. So tell us a little bit about the AASC and what do you see as the major role for yourselves in our community?
So the Apartment Association serves as a liaison, if you will, between the community and the rental housing industry. We provide education and advocacy for rental housing owners. We also serve to be somewhat of a locator when the city is in need of housing. Major catastrophes like the Waldo Canyon fire, we would step in and try to help people locate landlords that had available units, that sort of thing, while people were getting their homes rebuilt. So we serve on a lot of boards, work with a lot of nonprofits, in just a huge variety of capacities.
That's awesome. So this is one of my favorite questions to ask because my students always say it's always better to buy. And I tell them that's not true. So tell me some of the pros and cons of renting.
So one of the main pros of renting is that it just provides our community, young people, as far as retirees, families, pretty much everybody, just the option to have maintenance-free living and flexibility, if you will. Many of our younger population are changing jobs more frequently than folks did in the past. My parents stayed at the same company for decades. That's not the case any longer. They're moving every 3 to 5 years, and renting gives them that opportunity to be able to move with their jobs and have that flexibility. The only con that I hear from folks is that you don't have any equity built up when you're renting. However, if you're financially savvy, you can certainly find a more modest property and put that savings and invest it that you would have spent on replacing your roof or your plumbing or any number of things that can go wrong when you own a home.
Absolutely. And that's what I try to tell my students as well. So there are definitely some pros as well.
Exactly.
So what trends have you seen in renting and multi-housing industry in the past, let's say like 5 to 10 years? And what trends do you think we're going to see in the future?
So we were fairly underbuilt when the housing crash happened. So of course the demand increased quickly, much faster than anyone expected. So we are looking at building more and more now. The passage of the Retool Colorado Springs is going to help, I think, in our area to be able to offer developers more flexibility in where they build and what they build. So I think that's going to be a positive, which is only going to help to stabilize the rents going forward. What we saw in COVID is that a lot of folks moved from larger cities to what, some of us may or may not think is affordable city is much more affordable than California or Denver. And so our rents have continued to increase in Colorado Springs, frankly, because we had further to go than many cities. But I do think that the future with the flexibility of building and that sort of thing will start to stabilize over time in the next few years.
Excellent. And you kind of already answered this, but maybe you can elaborate. So what is the biggest challenge Southern Colorado has for multi-housing currently? And what do you see as the best path forward / challenges in the future?
So one of our biggest challenges as an industry is the state legislature. Because of COVID and the variety of issues that it had, both with people losing their jobs, now with some businesses struggling to rehire folks back, it has increased the cost of building for our industry. And now the legislature, like has happened in the past, is seeking to solve some of those, what they see as a problem. I think the best answer is for them to let the market run itself. The increased supply will certainly level that off. Rent control, as you may know, has already passed the House last week. We're hoping it will not pass the Senate, as it's been proven time and time again to not be a good economic policy. If in the event that someone can't make a profit on something they're selling, they're simply not going to sell it. They're simply not going to build it. And so it only seeks to reduce supply, which only benefits those who already have a unit and will make it worse for those that are looking for somewhere to live. In addition to that, they've got a variety of issues coming up, just cause evictions. They want to get into the legalese of it. And we really need to allow it to be a contractual law and allow the residents and the owners to negotiate their own contracts. So there's a variety of things going on at the state legislature that we hope will fizzle out, and we'll see how that goes. More to come.
Absolutely. I always love hearing let the market work. So that's, as an economist, that's one of my favorite things to hear. Well, thank you very much for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed this edition of the Weekly Economic Snapshot. As always, if you have suggestions for future snapshots, or if you'd like to be interviewed by us, please let us know. Thanks.